everyone, Husky Ninja here with another one of my community deck overviews for you guys from my Pawsome deck section of my Discord community. Today's one is submitted by Earth, Weeb, and Fire, who I shall put a link down below to their channel as well as to their Encore deck build. As today we have a Nisekoi, I am so sorry if I say that wrong, but a Nisekoi Waishore set that is a 3-color called My Sweet Honey Marika, I Love You, and it is an 8-door build. And I do have Google Translate on, so card names may not change on like the more detailed bit, but you can tell what the card name is down below. And I do apologize if I say any of the names wrong. So, starting off, we have Great Disguise, which is a level 0. Continuous if the number of cards in your stock is 2 or less. This gets 1,500. This is similar to what the Yang in the Ruby set does with its trial deck. As long as your stock is 2 or less, you get a nice little bit of power boost on top of the base of 2,500. And he runs 4 copies of this. Next, we have Drawer of the Shop, Kosaki. Auto, pay 1, put a card from your hand into your waiting room. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 key character, reveal to your opponent, put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck afterwards. This is a good way to get a card you do need, especially if you're low on level 0s, or if it's to make sure you got a card in hand ready for when you hit level 1. As well as being able to shuffle your deck again, in case it's like you feel like you may not be able to get cards you do need, is a good way to go about it. Hopefully increasing your likelihoods of getting cards you do need from your deck. Next up, we have Surprise Inside Chitoge. Auto, when this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent's level 0 or lower, you may reverse that character. And auto, at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may move this card to the open middle position of your center stage. So it's like a free runner, but only for your front row. And the nice bit is when she gets reversed, you can reverse the card that's attacked it, as long as that card is level 0 or lower. 4 copies of that one. Next we have 2 copies of First Love Chitoge. Auto, when another of your characters becomes reversed in battle, choose one of your characters, and that character gets 1,000 power to the end of turn. And because it doesn't say other, I feel it does include herself. And action, brainstorm, pay 1, flip over 4 cards from the top of your deck, put them in your waiting room. For each climax revealed amongst these cards, choose one of your key or weapon characters, and that character gets plus 2,000 power to the end of turn. So, even if a card's been reversed, you give something 1,000 power, but then you do the brainstorm and you give either that card an extra 2,000 or a different card an extra 2,000. Next, we have 3 copies of Swimsuit Marika. Auto, when this card attacks, choose one of your other key characters. That gets 1,000 power to the end of turn. Auto, brainstorm, pay 1, rest 2 your characters. For rest of 2 characters, it's best to do it with your back row, just so you can make sure you can attack when it's time for you to attack. But rest 2 of your characters, flip over 4 cards to the top of your deck, put them in your waiting room. For each climax card revealed amongst these cards, search your deck for up to 1 key character, so that's 1 character per climax card, reveal it to your opponent, and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck afterwards. This is a good way to get cards you do need, but at the cost of you end up reducing the likelihood of you canceling the opponent's attack. Next, we have 3 copies of Two of a Kind Raku. Continuous, all your other key characters get 500 power. So it's essentially an assist card. And auto, put a card from your hand into your waiting room. When this is placed on stage from your hand, you may pay cost. If you do, choose a card called Promised Pendant in your waiting room and put it in your hand. So it's basically a specific card retrieval, as long as you pay to do so. But as long as it's a card you don't need in your hand, you're good. Next, we have a really cute chibi Marika with Mini Marika, with 2 copies of her. Order, when this is placed on stage from your hand, look at the top card of your deck, put on the top of your deck or into your waiting room. So if it's a card you know you're not going to need, you can put it in your waiting room, or if it's a climax card, you just leave it there. And auto, pay 1. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a card called Promised Pendant in your waiting room and return it to your hand. So both of these, they get the same card out. So next up, we have our level 1s. Start off with 4 copies of Weekend Date Chitoge. Continuous memory. If a card named Promised Pendant in your memory, this gets 2,000 power. So it's kind of like where, not the same, but similar to where there are some cards in some newer sets, where it's like, if this card's in your memory, or number of cards in your memory, this gets a power boost. It's like that, but for a specific card. And I feel it is per copy of Promised Pendant, which I feel is really nice. Next, we have 3 copies of Promised Pendant, which is an event card. Search your deck for up to 1 key character, reveal to your opponent, put into your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards, and put that card into your memory. So it's a good way to get stuff to your memory, essentially, as well as get a card you need. And it sends herself to memory, which you do need for this one to get its power boost. Next, we have Marika's Ordeal with 4 copies. Auto, climax, when this card's opponent becomes reversed. If a card named Feelings for the Last 10 Years is in your climax area, you may choose a character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. So it's just a good way to get a character you do need back to your hand, as long as you have the specific climax card in your climax area. Next, we have Promised Pendant with 1 copy. Okay, I feel there's like different ones of this, and this is just different card art, but it's not, because they do different stuff. But this one, which is the red one for Marika, choose 2 of your stand characters and rest them. If you rest 2 characters, choose up to 2 key characters in your waiting room, return them to your hand, and choose a card in your hand and put in your waiting room. Put this in your memory. So this essentially is basically like a Promised Pendant for each of the female characters. So they each have their own Promised Pendant. And each one's ability sends itself to your memory. So I don't know if that means it's with all of the cards called Promised Pendant work for this one's power boost or not, but it's just nice to see. So next up, we're in level 2 with a copy of Great Style Chitoge. Assist all level 3 or higher characters and for this get 2,000 power. And auto, this ability activates up to 1 per turn. When used in action, choose 1 of your characters and that gets plus 500 power to the end of turn. So it gives a nice little bit of a power boost, as if it's not a level 3, but if it is, it gets quite round about a 2,500 power boost. Next, we have Chitoge as a ghost. Auto pay 2, put a character from your stage into your main room. When you use this card's backup, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's characters with level higher than your opponent's level and put it into your opponent's waiting room. So basically, if your opponent's got any early runners out or something out by standby, this just basically like, no you don't, that's going to your waiting room. As long as you pay for 2. And you've used this card's backup. Use action, count, backup, or counter. 2,500, level 2. Pay 1, put this card in your waiting room. And whatever character you use this one's backup on will get a 2,500 power boost. As long as being front attacked. And next, we have Angel in White, Kasaki. When this is placed on stage from hand, if the number of cards in your deck is 5 or less, return all cards in your main room to your deck. If you do, shuffle your deck and draw 1 card. So instead of like with Encore, where you shuffle, take the top card off, that goes to your clock as Encore damage. This basically shuffle your deck, and the card that would have been your Encore damage, if it was due to Encore, goes to your hand. In action, rest 2 of your key characters. Choose one of your characters, and that gets plus 2,000 power to the end of turn. Which is nice that you get to basically, for resting 2 cards that I would personally, for that, I'd use the backup characters, or the assist characters in the back row. Rest those, and you give something 2,000 power. Next, we have Maiden's Heart Marika. Memory, when this attacks, if the number of cards or its named Promise Pendant in your memory is 2 or more, you may deal 1 damage to your opponent. So that should do a burn. As long as you have 2 or more in your memory of the Promise Pendant cards, you can do a burn. And auto, pay 2, put 3 cards from your hand into your waiting room. This ability activates up to 1 per turn. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, if the number of other key characters you have is 2 or more, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand this card. Four copies of that. And 3 copies of Maiden's Heart Kosaki. With continuous, if the number of cards you have named Promise Pendant in your memory is 2 or more. This is minus a level while in hand, making her a level 2 in your hand as long as you have 2 or more Promise Pendant cards in your memory. And continuous, if the number of other key characters you have is 2 or more, this gets 1,000 power. And auto, when this card is placed on stage from hand, search your deck for up to 1 key character, reveal it to your opponent, put in your hand, and shuffle your deck afterwards. So you don't really have anything that is a clock heal, but you do have some things that are like nice little added bonuses instead. For climaxes, we have Feelings for the Last 10 Years, which we have 4 copies of, which features Marika. And we also have 4 copies of this climax card, which, those of you who do not know, is the mascot of White Shores, which you can use in any deck. So as long as the mascot of White Shores is on it, you can use it in any deck. Sadly, I don't think there are any in English, but it's nice to see just so to help round up the 4-door, which are all 1/1s with character retrieval as long as it's your trigger card. So a big thank you to Earth, Weeb, and Fire. I will put a link down below to the Encore deck build for this, so you guys can check it out yourselves. As well as a link down below to Earth, Weeb, and Fire's channel. And while you're at it, please don't forget to check out my Discord server, where we have games of White Shores. And if you want your decks submitted to be shown here on my channel, submit them to Pawsome decks on the server. If not, and you're working on a deck, please put into the deck, one of our deck build servers on there. As well as, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the rest of the videos here on my channel, where I focus on mostly Weiss Wars. Until next time, bye!